Looks like someone has a bounty on their head. Anyone care to collect?
How we doing, boys and girls? Good morning. Welcome, welcome. How we all doing? I thought I'd start off today blasting out some of my my world quests. Get the world quest done. Still grinding that rep, so let's get that done first thing this morning. I'm going to talk player housing today. I want to read through the article properly. I've only sort of vicariously looked through it. We want to dive into some player housing stuff today, because that's looking really interesting. More interesting than anything is it looks like it's probably going to come out completely separate from the Midnight expansion. I don't even think it's going to be a pre-patch thing. I think they're just going to launch it when it's ready. It's clearly been something they've been cooking for a while, so that's exciting to see. We'll browse that a little bit more today. Right, let's get a few things set up. I'm just casually trying to get this pet battle done. Okay, right, that's Twitch dashboard, go. Chris, welcome in, good morning. Jeannie, good morning. Hope you're both well. If I get the world quest done nice and quick, there's one final quest line that I want to do on this hunter. It unlocks one of the cool coats, one of the new cool coats that they've added to the game. Not the black one. The black Matrix coat comes from the Dark Fuse faction, which is going to be a bit of a long-term grind, I think. But since it's an account-wide unlock, we can be collecting the research on all of our tunes. I was meant to win this battle, and we didn't win that battle. Something went horribly wrong. Something went very wrong. And I don't have pet bandages all of a sudden. How have I not got pet bandages? Ooh. Apparently I don't have pet bandages. Where have they gone? All these flipping world quests we do with pet battles, and apparently I'm missing my pet bandages. There we go.
Welcome, Outlander.
Whoa. Hang on. Let's try that again.
Speak freely. No directive
Go.
needed.
I seen a wild manthe. You spotted me out in the wild. I'm easy to spot. I'm pretty easy to spot, I think. Pink elephants give it away. Oh, I wonder if I've got... Oh, I might have war mode on at the moment. That was not intended, but anyway. Yeah, I'm like, it's entirely not necessary, but I genuinely think I might be able to push Renown 20 this week. And I think it'd be quite funny to get it done this quickly. Doing so will require me doing all the world quests on this dude. It will require me killing every rare every day. It will also require me doing all of the world quests on most of my alts in the Undermine as well. That's probably the only way we'll hit Renown 20 this week, I think. I found it weird that you had war mode on. I think it's because of the Sparks of War quest. Sparks of War Undermine quest is about 250 reps, so I think it was probably something I switched on to do that. Just accidentally got distracted. What I do need to do whilst this is cooking, check for add-on updates. As at this time of the year, there is plenty, nearly daily. Keep things running smooth. How was everybody's vault day yesterday though? Any big pulls? Any spicy bits of gear? I think the first vault week is usually a fun one for people because it's the biggest number they've ever seen. It's usually how it goes. They get less and less interesting as the weeks go on, usually, as you need more and more specific items. But Myth Track Tier Pants. Boom. Boom. That's a pull. 2 set on a few tunes now. Hey, that's good. That's good. Nice. Anytime you can pull tier out the vault, it's a good day though, isn't it, really? Oops. I don't think he was meant to die. I've still got a couple of characters, actually, a couple of my alts that I need to... I didn't even get a chance to log on to them yesterday. I need to keep a little bit more true to my timings today, I think. I accidentally spent way too much time on my main character yesterday. It meant some of my alts didn't get a look in. Which is bad mojo when my overall goal... My overall goal is actually just to... my overall goal is to farm as many rares as possible, but I'm trying to get some of the other little things done at the same time. Wombo comboing does slow you down in some regards. And here I am enjoying Classic more than Retail. This Retail patch, at least for me, is very zoom. There's really not much chill about any of it, whereas Classic is very much that chill. Very much more chill. Where is the war supply crate? They really fucked healers over with the tank brand nerf. I've shared some opinions on this, and I just think it's dumb. I think the changes are dumb. Like like sure, tank brand's OP, but I don't know. It just feels like such a strange move. Clearly, if it's that broken, overpowered, that it makes all other specs like not even quote unquote viable. But it's delves are predominantly single player content. Like, if you progress through the single player content faster because you're using a certain spec or a certain combination, it's kind of up to you. Like, when it's predominantly focused on single player content, it's really difficult to see it as anything other than a fun detected play. And they were like, shit, people are progressing through this content that we wanted to last players a lot longer. Oh no, they might, get bored of delves too fast again. Like, this leads very nicely into everything that I was saying about delves in Season 2. That all the changes that they made were designed to prolong the engagement with delves. Which is, sure, fine, great, if that's what they want to go for. But I mean, then nerfing the new tank spec brand so aggressively just screams, oh shit, people were completing it too fast. And they'll sell it as like, oh, it's not fair. Doesn't matter, single player content. I didn't even know Tank Bran was OP. You know why? Because I'm DPS playing BM Hunter, and I wasn't using Tank Bran simply because it doesn't make sense. I have pets that can tank. I don't need Bran to tank. I need Bran to save my ass because a BM Hunter doesn't particularly have huge amounts of heals. I have a heal that's on a 2-minute cooldown. That's about it. If I get into sticky situation, I need healer Bran. So it's like, well, you know, he was doing damage based on how many heals you pumped into him. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know he was overpowered, but dare I say he was probably fun, and dare I say healers probably had a really fucking rough time in Delves last season. So maybe give him a break. Give him a break. Like, what does it matter? What damage was he doing being a little bit OP for healers? None. It's just a fun detected play. Oh, what, some people could complete their, you know, their 8s for the vault 20% faster than somebody else. Whoop-de-frig, right? It's a non-issue. It's a non-issue, but it's clearly that they were like, oh shit, he's too overpowered. People are finishing the content too quickly. We can't have people finishing our game that fast. It's a clear fun detected play. And Blizzard have always said they don't particularly like heavy-handed nerfs. They'd rather buff other classes up to a similar point. Well, if that statement was actually true, they'd have maybe considered buffing, you know, Bran's other specs. You have to be very, very careful with Blizzard because they are highly specialized with their PR. Even their patch notes are very PR. And it's clear and obvious when something slips through the net that hasn't been PR vetted first, because they all of a sudden when somebody starts sounding like a real human, you're like, oh, that hasn't been vetted. I know it sounds super cynical, but Blizzard are 20 years of experience doing this now in just this one game, right? Like they will pull the wool over your eyes. Next track. And then people are surprised why there aren't any healers in the game. I know, like I said, healers get a pretty rough time in the game generally. They are significantly less effective in solo content. They are the first to be blamed for when something goes wrong in group content. They are a true utility class. Healers are entirely there in order to provide to others, which makes the healer role very, very difficult. Tank has the unique position of the fact that they're also typically very good in solo content because they don't die, or at least they shouldn't for the most part if they're pressing their buttons in the correct order. So what's wrong with giving healers a break for 5 minutes in Delves? It's crazy. Heck, if Tank Bran was OP and you played a Paladin and you'd never played Holy Paladin, maybe you could consider switching to Holy Paladin because, like, oh, well, Bran can do the tanking. I'll pummel some heals into him. He'll smash the pants off the entire delve. You know what? This healing malarkey is really quite fun. Maybe I'll give this healing business a go. Let me go do some M pluses as Holy. Maybe, you know? Lean into it. Oh, Tank Bran's a bit overpowered. Healers are having a fun time in delves. All right, let's lean into this. Let's see if we can get some more healers on the go. Considering it's always a role that is, you know, in dire need of new blood. But no, knee-jerk reactions because holy shit, people are finishing the content too fast. Oh, this isn't a pet battle, this is a race. There's me trying to get a pet team. God, I still need coffee this morning. Holy. Don't be doing that to me, Goldson. Why did Stanley not say nothing again? Hang on, is Stanley like really busted now? It didn't work properly yesterday. I wonder if Twitch have changed something with their... I'll have to have a little look at him in a second. He's definitely switched on today. Unable to respond to chat message? Why is it saying that? Trying to diagnose Stanley whilst doing races is risky business.
Golden TV says,
There we
noise
go.
check.
There we go.
Well, isn't this a fun little game? How about we check for a Twitch Prime while we're at it, huh? Noise check, noise check. All good here.
Good morning, Goldson. Welcome in. Or, well, good day to you. It's clearly not your morning.
Nicely done. You and your Drake are exceptional.
Meant to be avoiding these. I just say I love the new weather effects in the game. The rain sounds feels nice now. I hadn't actually noticed. I pay not so much attention to things like that in this game. It's 5 PM somewhere. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Kill players or subdue creatures.
We Unbound have a
This one's usually a pain in the ass because nobody wants to actually PvP. I don't want to PvP,
task.
but there's not that many creatures to subdue. Maybe we just say screw it. Any delvers in chat, can you use more than one map a week? No, you can only get one a week. If you, I don't know if there's a catch up on them, so if you don't do one week, you get another the next week. I don't know if there's anything like that in place, but they have changed the design of them this time round, so you can't... Not that you could really farm them particularly last season, but some people were just getting on the right side of RNG and getting like two or three like quite quickly in a week. And it's, you know, Fun Police were like, no. You can get one per week. You can get one bonus boosted piece of gear a week. You're a big liar, Mr. Goldson.
We've got hostiles.
Throwing shade.
You need to step up and engage them. We want to preserve this place.
Should I use it on an 11 or is 8 the max? I think 8 is still the max, but don't quote me on that one. I wouldn't say for certain. I'm pretty sure gearing is still capped at 8. It's just that the 11s will give you... You can do 3 11s a week for the Gilded Crests. But base gear, I think, is still capped at 8. Is this the one where we got to find the worms? Yeah. It's one of those, though. If you can do 11s, just do 11s. I just recommend doing the highest tier ones you can. There'll be players out there that will tell you that, oh, well, you can speedrun lower tier ones a little bit faster. I live by the theory that if you can do the higher ones, do the higher ones. Just because then, you know, you don't have to worry about the intricacies of all of the mechanics of the modes. If you just do the highest tier content you can kill, you should get the best rewards you are eligible for, you know. What's with the price of leyline residue? Turns out there's not all that many people that have been doing herbalism for quite a while, it looks. It looks like we might be in a bit of a global shortage of ley line residue. Which is funny, right? Because that goes to show just how much thaumaturgy is actually impacting the markets. The skinning is clearly the source of all materials. Because anytime leather dips below a certain price, it gets bought by alchemists and it gets slowly converted into all the other base materials. And hey presto, no real need for herbing and mining. But the downside of that is that if there's no real need for people to be doing herbing and mining, then there's also not really much supply of the base materials, the elemental materials that also come from herbing and mining. Fun, right? Fun times. And then ley line residue being used in huge quantities in a very short period of time is caused a bit of a weird one in the market. I don't bother with the PvE at all, but I want some gear for the visions on the PTR. Oh, is there not like 670 item level gear vendors on the PTR? Almost always when they put, or at least in recent times, whenever they've tried to test a PvE system out, they've always given you a gear vendor to make sure that you're not so trash tier that your testing is useless, if you know what I mean.
Bravery are a powerful combination.
Check Stormwind or Orgrimmar. There might be vendors in there. Overloading is absolute trash this expansion. You should get more of those reagents. Well, overloading was never going to be anywhere near as useful, but that is because that is quite simply because compared to Dragonflight, the one trick I try and explain to people when trying to figure out these markets is look for the bottleneck. Like, if you do nothing else, look for the bottleneck material. Try and find what the bottleneck material is going to be, and that'll be where your money's at. So, in Dragonflight, for example, Awakens were the bottleneck. You could not craft literally anything without either a rousing or an awakened element of some sort. Not even a basic bitch potion. Like, literally nothing could be crafted without those things. And because they were the quote-unquote rare find when herbing and mining, they were the bottleneck. They were the bottleneck the entire expansion. It's why herbs were basically free. Why ore was basically free. Because people would collect herbs and collect ore as a byproduct of finding the Awakens. This time round, most crafts don't need a special elemental reagent. And Blizzard have added a thaumaturgy system to make sure that there is always a steady supply of relatively equal value base materials. And so, leyline residue currently is the bottleneck. And hey presto, money. And this is why, if you've got a well set up herb miner from Season 1, jump on that dude now. Jump on that dude. Go do some herbing. Make big money.
It is an excellent day for a race. Come
Maybe use that overload button a few times. Blizzard will implement a rare reagent vendor like the Profane Tinderbox. You got to remember though, it will be a relatively short-lived thing, right? Because there'll be a knee-jerk reaction by 1 billion people to go out and do some farming, which will self-correct the issue pretty quickly. It's just, you know, like I said, it's the reality that basically nobody has been doing much herbing and mining, clearly. And off the back of that, there's a shortage. I often like to sort of push the mindset with goal making in general of that it's usually a good idea if you have the spare time, and I want to preface this, make sure it's spare time, make sure you're not choosing to do this over, you know, progressively playing the game in a fun, engaging way, but like, if you've got spare time, it's always worth doing things that may not necessarily seem like they're of value right here, right now, in the minute. Much like leveling alts to 80, for example. How many times did we, as goal-making content creators, see or get asked the question, do I need to level these alts to 80? Do I need to level these 70s to 80? Do I need to get all these remix tunes to 80? And the answer throughout all of Season 1 was no, but. No, but. You don't need to do it for what is, you know, the meta now, but it's going to be very useful to you in the future. And my situation right now, for example, I'm only able to run the Undermine on like 12 different characters because I leveled 12 different alts to 80. If I didn't level them to 80, they'd be pretty useless to me right now. And this is an example of, even though it wasn't particularly that useful or beneficial to be leveling them in Season 1, it's turned out to be very useful when something happens. And when something happens, if you've already done the legwork, you just hit the ground running. Like if you kept a herb miner very well set up in Season 1, even past the times where the gold per hour was viable, you'd have a really pumped herb miner now to be able to go out and gather leyline residue like a machine. Whereas everybody else is going to run around, scrabble, desperately try and get that herb miner leveled up, spend the first 10 hours underperforming because they haven't got the right spec points, and then in a week or two's time, by the time they've got that herb miner fully set up, then, well, all the profits have gone again. You've missed the boat. So this is kind of why doing a wide variety of stuff, keeping your account like in good standing is a smart way of doing things. Manthius, why are you continuously doing all of your patron orders every day? Well, because if an opportunity arises, it means I can take advantage of it. I can't tell you why it's useful right now, but you'll be happy you've done it in the future. It's the way I look at it anyway. Now, like I said, make sure that you only do these extracurricular activities, you know, if the time is actually spare to you. Being proactive rather than reactive, definitely, 100%. I love that phrase. Because that is the Goblin way of life, right? Goblins make profit off people who are being reactive. Oh, I need to be in the raid in 4 minutes time. My raid leader has put the group together. We're going to go kill bosses. Shit, I don't have any potions. Well, I guess I'm going to pay the premium buying them off the auction house right here, right now. You know, that's literally Goblin 101. If everybody who played the game was like proactive and was like, okay, I'm going to be raiding in 2 days' time, well, I should maybe craft some potions, or heck, even buy some potions now because they're cheap compared to what they'll be on reset day. If everybody was, you know, proactive, then it'd be much harder for anybody to make gold. Cooking is my absolute favourite example of this. Every single character in the game has the ability to cook their own food, make their own feasts, farm up their own fish, all of the above. But how many people do it? Basically none. Basically none. most people are more than willing. They'll complain about it, but they'll be more than willing to pay the premium to have somebody else cook and make their food for them, given the choice. I'm a lazy raider. Most raiders are. Most raiders are. I mean, the term raid logging gets thrown around all over the place, doesn't it? But it's true. There's an awful lot of people that play this game that don't really enjoy the RPG, mundane, level your character up sort of business. They enjoy killing bosses. They enjoy being, you know, chatting shit in a group of 20 other people. They just like shooting the shit and killing bosses. And then once that's done, they want to log out. They don't want to be messing around with reputations and world quests and all this sort of guff. There's a lot of people that don't care for that sort of stuff. Part of me wants to buy more crystalline powder.
Protect the residents from their aggression.
Crystalline powder's an odd one. That stuff's literally never been more than a gold. I remember at the beginning of Season 1, these mobs were like annoyingly painful to kill. Now we're running around and they just melt. Since the changes on how the markets work back in Dragonflight with the new profession system, do you prefer the consumable market, or are you working with crafting gear, work orders and all of that? Early in the expansion, consumable markets are my bread
You
and
and Norton
butter.
subscribed for 29 months and says, hello there.
Mr. Norton, welcome in. Welcome.
A loyal
Thank you very much.
subscriber. Hello there, you and Norton. Ready to dominate some games today? Remember to check for a Twitch Prime to keep the fun going.
Mr. Norton, thank you very much. Welcome in. Hope you're well. It has been a while. It has been a while. I wondered if you fell off the face of the earth, but you seem to be alive and well, which sounds good. Welcome in. Thank you very much for the sub. Back to the market-related question. I prefer the sort of consumable material markets. My favorite way to make gold has always been crafting, but that is sort of seasonal in terms of the fact that the added value that crafters the added value that crafters offer is often not great. You'll often do better just like flipping materials or whatever. But yes, given the choice between work orders is like a service industry. There's no real way in this game to separate yourself from anybody else other than just stand in the capital city 18 hours a day, which is not my jam. Work orders is not my jam. I would much rather take the time and the effort to craft something and then go put it on the auction house at a price I'm willing to sell it at. Work orders is not really my thing, to be honest. I think they have a lot to do. I think they have a lot of work to do to add more flexibility to the work order system. Because right now, it's got a lot of pain points in it and a lot of deliberately added friction, which they could really do with smoothing out. I love how playing with that orphan, I know it's tag, but the sound they have used to play tag is like, sure. It's more of a slap. It's literally more of a slap. Oh, am I not meant to be mounted for this, apparently? Found you. Oh, you've been playing Delta Force Extraction. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people play that.
Are you? Only play when it's dead, because at night monsters fight.
It's good to take some time out from WoW from time to time, though, for sure. I hate work orders as well. I prefer to sit babysitting auctions instead of spamming trade chat. The best way to do work orders is not to spam trade chat, though. This is the weird thing. Like spamming trade chat is only going to lead to getting your ass banned. Whether for right or wrong reasons, you'll just end up with a ban. Spamming trade chat, either not because you're doing anything particularly wrong, but mostly because other people will just continuously report you. It's a shit move, but it's a thing.
The star shines.
I can hear their laughter already. Thank you, friend.
If you are going to do work orders, use craft scan. Craft scan is your friend. There's a modded version of craft scan that auto messages people. Well, if you are caught using it, you should be banned. It's bad for the people not using it. Not really, because the people who use it will disappear quite quickly. Blizzard's pretty hot on automation. They don't like it. They don't want you using it. And they will swat your ass if you are found to use it.
The darkness comes. We are prepared.
Another coffee key. Join any server and ask for an item. If you get a 0.001 second reply, that's the modded version. Well, these people will find themselves in trouble at some point. We can only have trust in that Blizzard will take the required actions against people who are breaking the rules. Like, there's really nothing much else you can do in that scenario.
Looks like there's treasure nearby. And that means treasure hunters.
I try my best not to play the game in a way that pays any attention to anybody that either bots or breaks the rules in the game. Now, admittedly, that will bite me in the ass. Like, for example, Dracothists bit me hard, right? My logic, my investment decisions, and my plan of action around Dracothists was very heavily based upon the fact there is a finite amount of them that people should be able to make. People that broke the rules, people that found a way to abuse a bug, who were able to make an unlimited quantity of them, fucked me over. But I would like to also think that a bunch of those players got repercussions against them. If they did, they did. If they didn't, they didn't. I don't know, but... I can click that button pretty quick sometimes. Yeah, I mean, when it pings, like, you just press the button. I'm not really sure the advantage of an auto reply version of it, to be honest. Simply because if people send if something is automatically replying and you're proactively playing the game anyway, if you're there, just click the button. If you're not there, you're going to get people sending you orders and you're not there to fill the orders. And that's going to piss people off and people will blacklist you purely because of that. Because they'll very quickly realise that, hang on, this dude's just a scam. Like, you know, I wouldn't worry about it. I genuinely wouldn't worry about it. Tried it on Silvermoon in Kazakh, got 5 to 8 whispers in less than a millisecond. There's lots of people very, very thirsty for orders. it's competitive. This is my point, right? This is fundamentally why I said that I'm not really particularly a fan of work orders. Full stop. There's no way for you to differentiate yourself from everybody else. It's a service-orientated system with no real way for you to actually provide much of a better service than somebody else. There's no real way to differentiate yourself. Now, of course, you can go the extra mile by sort of, you know, trying to suggest to people that, you know, you teach people how the system works, all of this sort of stuff. You can babysit players that need it a little bit, but that's still very thankless of a job, to be honest.
Together.
A true hero among us. You and Norton, your generosity knows no bounds. The
Mr. Norton with a
community
gift is
truly lucky to have you spreading the love of gaming. Remember, check for a Twitch
Let's
Prime.
make sweet, sweet profit together.
Mr. Norton, my man, thank you very much. I appreciate the gifties. If you are the recipient of a giftie, remember to say your thanks. Earth, Arabani, Night, Hiroshi, and Creeley.
Are you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Congratulations on your gifted subs. Thank you, thank you.
Welcome. It has been so long.
Bit of a hype train
your
kicked off and
wallet?
all.
Are you just glad to see me?
Hype is real, WoW is
Both,
dead.
I hope.
Lol. Clearly, Delta Force has brought you some generosities. I
wallet?
appreciate it.
Are you just glad to see me?
Oh my
Both,
god,
I
that's a
hope.
steep one straight into a pit. Ooh, dearie me. I really need to concentrate doing these races. Especially before the caffeine's kicked in. Ah, see? Otherwise I do something silly like... How did I end up in the building? Oh no. Right. Hello? It's all going horribly wrong. Let's try that again, shall we? God, there's too many things to hit with this one. I don't like this course at all. First, you're diving straight down a waterfall. There's going to come a point where I'm going to have to spend a day and do all of the dragon races, but like properly. That's going to be... We're going to need a few Red Bulls for that one, I think. Jesus, this course is crazy! Whew!
I can see that the two of you will soon be
Jeez
familiar with
Louise.
competitors.
Adrestia says, what is your favorite strategy for World of Warcraft flying races? And do you have a favorite one?
Don't crash.
Flying races in World of Warcraft. A true test of skill. My favorite strategy? Always remember, slow and steady wins the race. Plus, a bit of luck never hurts.
Slow and steady. Flipping hell, Stan.
You carry your torch.
Touting that fake news. It's video games, my friend. Slow and steady is for losers. Any news on when Panda launches? I don't actually know. I'm not actually sure we have a release date yet. We had some big news about player housing yesterday, which I'm still yet to go through. I wanted to get some basics done and get some caffeine in me first. Some amazing news. There's I have some information of which I'm probably not really able to share. But I have very strong suspicions that Blizzard has taken, and you may be able to do your own research into this if you wish, because the information is out there. But Blizzard seem to, from what I can gather, have taken a lot of influence. And when I say a lot of influence, I mean they have borderline copy and pasted this player housing from somewhere else. I can't really discuss in too much detail where this somewhere else is, but they have very clearly copy pasted or have taken great levels of inspiration from somewhere else with their player housing by the looks of things. And considering they've taken so much inspiration from this other location, this other location was also very hot to add large amounts of profession-related additions. Being the TLDR to this being, I am now almost convinced, not with any level of certainty, but I am almost convinced we are going to see a new profession in Midnight to go alongside player housing. Almost convinced of it. Because if they've taken such strong inspiration from somewhere else when designing this system, there's no reason for me to believe that they haven't gone the full 9 yards and just straight copy-pasted everything. But we'll see. Did you know that you can't buy more than 20 WoW tokens in 7 days? I don't know. Wait, hang on, what's this? Requires Clamour's pry bar. How have I never opened this before?
Adrestea says, but slow and steady does not give the gold. Ha, Adrestea, always thinking of the gold. Well, in that case, speed is of the essence. But don't forget to enjoy the ride, too. It's not all about the gold, is it?
Yeah, I feel like I've bought more than 20 in a 7-day window. I mean, I've bought 20, 30 at a time, I think, before. I think there's a limit on how many you can buy with your credit card in a certain window. As a fraud prevention mechanic. I don't think there's a limitation on how much gold you can exchange. Colossal slain. How do I know what a colossal is? Sure. Do you think they'll go all the way back to vanilla mats? Well, it depends what they add, but at this point I'm a good 90% sure that we're going to see a new profession alongside player housing. As it seems too prime of an opportunity to not, honestly. Seems too Twitch Prime of an opportunity. I'm joking. I'll let Stanley do the shameless promo. Did you already cover the player housing video and topics? No, I wanted to get my world quests and stuff and start farming some rares. In between camping rares, we can probably have a little look at it.
We cannot allow these ravenous necromancers to claim a foothold on our lands. Well fought.
I need to go down to Ajkahet and do everything down there. The game doesn't realise yet that I haven't picked a pact for this week, so there's more world quests to do down there as well. I'm going to laugh real hard if my 35k Netherweave is needed. People who have... how many people still have banks full of... how many people still have banks full of Mageweave cloth and rune cloth? From the great storage of relics of the past. Four guild banks full of mats from every expansion. Each expansion has at least one tab, but the last two have their own bank. That's a lot of mats.
Greetings, Overcrawler.
You've got a legit quest on your head.
You tread a powerful skein. Tread softly, Overcrawler. Until we tangle again.
7 with a general, 7 out of 9.
There's a cache of resources nearby. Find it before you have to fight over it. It is good you are here. May your destiny weave.
Oh my god, look at all the quests that turned up on the back of that. Nothing wrong with a little hoarding. I mean, if you've been hoarding since the addition of the region-wide auction house, there's a safe assumption that those materials are just gaining value over time. But if you had them all hoarded from prior the region-wide merger, you've probably lost a lot of gold by sitting on them. To be fair, if you survived the great guild bank heist of the War Within launch, you've done pretty well in the first place, thinking about it. Only need 8 points to fully complete tailoring, pretty close in enchanting and jawn crafting. Holy, you're further ahead than I am. I've been hard slacking in the last few weeks. My routine of doing all the patron orders every day has slipped, so I've been focusing on other things. But that's pretty crazy, actually, to nearly have them capped out by this point. It makes sense, though. If you've been keeping up with it, it makes a lot of sense.
Filthy Overcrawler.
And it's one of those, when the job's done, the job's done. No more dirt piles. Well, It's been quite a while since I've proactively farmed dirt piles on any character, even my main, to be honest. If I accidentally if I accidentally stumble across them, sure, fine. But I'm definitely not going out of my way to pick those things up anymore. Haven't done for a long time. That said, being in a position to be able to max craft absolutely anything with all of the professions would be quite fun. No denying that'd be quite fun. Some people hoard toilet paper. They do. And those people we call crazy people. I don't think we use the word crazy enough these days. I think political correctness has got out of hand. Now everybody has a mental illness. No, some people are just crazy. And I should point out, there's nothing derogatory meant by calling somebody crazy. It's like calling somebody tall. Some things just are what they are. Right?
Excellent work. I can see that the two of you will soon be formidable competitors.
If you embrace the crazy, you can just mold it into a personality trait and you'll be fine. There are too many words replacing crazy, but if somebody is a total nutter, they be crazy. Yeah, exactly, yeah. The only thing left in tailoring is 8 points in the optional reagents, which I never make anyway. Boom. You'll have that done by next week then.
Kaheti truffles make powerful explosives, but can only be found by Rakusha's stag shells. Take one into the field with you, and uncover as many truffles as you can.
We doing the truffle shuffle. I'm going to be honest. To be able to stream for any distinct amount of time, I think you need a touch of crazy. Nobody of completely sound mind streams 5 days a week. It's not possible. Not everybody needs to be on XQC levels, but a touch of crazy don't go amiss. Did you get a new graphics card? Looking forward to Goblin 4K. I've been keeping a very watchful eye on them, but I've not made the purchase decision yet. Simply because in Finland, unfortunately, the flipping retailers are the ones doing the scalping.
Every resource we can gather is a boon for the
Finding anything even remotely close to MSRP is basically impossible. Now, I don't mind paying a slight premium for, if there's an aftermarket card that has a noticeably, if there's 10% in performance gain to be had over the basic card from an aftermarket cooler, I'm hands up quite happy to pay that, like maybe 10% premium for the for a nicer graphics card. But I refuse to pay a €400 premium on what is meant to be the MSRP card. Like, that's just theft at that point. Like, whilst I do have the luxury of it being sort of considered a business expense, that still doesn't mean I'm willing to throw money in a big hole. So the reality is, and I was kind of hoping, I was really kind of hoping AMD were going to come out with something more in the enthusiast range. The AMD cards are looking very good if you're a price to performance gamer. They will definitely shake up Intel's offering, I think. You got to be pretty crazy right now to be buying a 5070 Ti, let's put it that way. You got to be pretty bonkers crazy, even places where there's stock. Nobody's buying 5070 Ti's right now when 9070 XTs are basically equal in performance for quite often €200-300 less. Nobody's buying 5070 Ti's. But the problem is I wasn't particularly looking at the 50 series NVIDIA cards. I was looking at 5080s, and I was really hoping AMD were going to come out with something enthusiast. 7900 XTX replacement, for example, would have been really nice to see. That would have put the cat amongst the pigeons. But unfortunately, Intel have no real reason to do anything about the prices or availability of their 80 or 90 series cards because they've got zero competition. So I'm not entirely sure. There's part of me that's strongly considering, because for about €700-800 I could get just a 50, get the 5070, for example. I am very, very tempting to buy a 5070 now, wait until NVIDIA ultimately are forced to release a 5080 Super in about 9 months' time, 9 to 12 months' time, and then I'll buy the 5080 Super for my main rig, and I'll put the 5070 in my in what will then be the proper stream PC. And I'll probably not spend any more than what I would pay buying a 5080 right now, because hopefully by that point the prices will have prices and availability will have done their natural thing. So it won't cost me any more, is my suspicion. It's the route I'm tempted to go. Or I'll start playing the lottery and buy a 5090. Just wait for the supers. I feel like I hit gold when I got my 4070 18 months ago. Dodged a bullet. Well, my theory was that when the 5000 series came out, my theory was very simple. My theory was that, well, if I jump on board with one of the 50 series early in their generation, I will be able to stretch that card out for 2 generations, right? If I buy a slightly higher level card right at the very beginning when they're brand new, it will be a current tier card for the next 2 years. And then, I might be able to skip the 6000 series. If I can get 4 years out of a higher tier card, I was like, well, surely that's probably the play, right? That's what I was going with. But lack of availability, scalper prices all over the place. It's just a mess. It's just a mess. In Hungary, the prices of these cards are literally 4 times my monthly salary. Yeah. It's not, they're not viably priced, really. And this is the thing, right? I'm tempted to just get a 5070 now. 5070 now, a PS5 for when GTA comes out. Fix up the stream PC properly. I'm tempted to spend this money I saved, which I was going to spend on a higher tier enthusiast level card that would last me a bit longer. Instead, spread it out over a few other things that will be slightly more useful short term. Glad I got a 4070 Ti Super 3 months ago. That's probably a really strong card. Yeah, a 4070 Ti Super from a few months ago is probably a really strong purchase. This is actually one of the first times where buying the end-of-line cards when they were cheap was actually a flipping incredible play. It's often a bit risky. It's often a bit risky because we're used to, historically, we are used to seeing like 25% performance bumps. Which means, you know, if you spend €1,000 on a card and then the month after, the €1,000 card is doing 25% more, you feel hard done by. But this time round, buying a... Are we pulling a world boss with 4 players? Do we look like Rex Troy here? What the Christ is going on? I mean, if we pull this off, we're absolute giga chads, but I cannot for the life of me see us killing a world boss with 4 players. Especially since I've got no flipping clue what this world boss does. 1 down. That's not a surprise.
Watch your back.
Pinky, it's on you, fella. Stop typing in chat and start killing the boss. Flipping hell. I'm trying to 5-man a world boss here. Up until 2 weeks ago was like current tier. The reason I've been a little bit more proactive with keeping an eye on the new cards is because I got fucked over with a 3070. Like, I bought my 3070 like 2 weeks before the 40 series launched. And the 40 series was actually a noticeable increase over a 3070. And there was none of this stock availability bullshit or anything like that. This is why I waited, skipped the 40 series completely, wanted to wait until the 50 series came out because I didn't want to make the same mistake twice. And now, scalper prices and stock shortages on the new ones have made me look like a fucking fool again, and it's just annoying me. Bloodlust, I don't have it. I haven't tinkered with my pets. Right, well, we seem to have killed a world boss with, like, so we started off with 4 people, we ended up with 7. That was an interesting move. Got a 3080, had it for a while now. 3080 still, great card to have. Great card to have. You've had your money's worth out of a 3080, I can tell you that for a fact. Sure, a 5080 will double your frames. You know, the 5080 is definitely an upgrade from a 3080, but it's still a really solid card. If I had a 3080 right now, I probably wouldn't be. I'd probably completely switch off my brain to the new ones.
Chris, 49, says, Stanley kindly tell Mantius to pick Bloodlust for his pets.
Yeah, I know. I need to go visit the stable manager and
Chris,
do a whole bunch of
49,
stuff.
I shall pass along your wise advice to Mantius. Bloodlust for the pets it is. Let's give them that extra edge in battle. Thank you for the tip. And don't forget to check for a Twitch Prime.
For logistics.
Wait, is this what?
Drugs from the Wormlands, and I shall see you compensated.
Is this the one where you have to go in all the caves? Got my 3080 super early at MSRP. If you got a 3080 in the early days, you've had good use out of that card by this point. Solid frame rates for like 4 years easily, I'd imagine at this point. Bought it at the height of mining, paid 1,200 euros for it, but to be fair, it's been an amazing card. Just think about that, right? At the height of mining, paying 1,200 euros for it, and it's still an absolute banger, and is still, for reference, right? You paid £1,200 for a 3080. I don't know what the what UK prices are like on these new 50 series cards, but you are looking at like 50. It's 1,650 euros. So I would imagine that equates to about £1,700 for an 80 series card right now, which it's hard to stomach. If you've got a 3080, it's a very tough. Which of the Artisan Acuity material bags do you think is better to get? I've got no clue. Absolutely no clue. I don't know. I don't know what the drop rates of materials are like in them. I would partly assume that the herbalism one is pretty good value, based upon the fact that tier 3 herbs are usually the more pricey. But I'm gonna it's nothing more than a guess. What are we doing? I'm farming up my rep, getting my world quest done to keep our rep pushed, and then we'll head over to the Undermine and be killing some more rares. Although I can't find these bugs, and I need to find 3 more bugs. Can't find any more grubs. Oh, there's one. There's 2. Oh, I need 3. Do you think I can run 5 wows with a 4060? Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, no questions asked. The best thing you need to remember when running multiple instances of WoW is you need to keep your textures and shadings down to a minimum, because the thing that will bottleneck you more is probably VRAM. If you have your textures and settings set too high, it's just going to chunk through all of your VRAM, and then each one will stutter. So you want, if you push the settings down, and you can easily run multiple accounts of WoW. You're not going to have much of a CPU or GPU bottleneck really, unless you're trying to push the settings too high. Set the background frame rate to like really low, and you'll be good. The minimum you can set it to is 8, but I actually don't recommend much less than 20. Especially if you're doing crafting on those accounts in the background. When you push it too low, it has some weird lag type issues. I'm not entirely sure why.
Silly little grubs, trying to
Okay, 10, got him.
razors have grown in.
That quest took way too long. Now I need to figure out how I get out this cave. That looks like a big hole to escape, doesn't it? Reviews of the 9950X 3D came out yesterday looking solid, but not a fan of core parking. I've not seen any of the reviews yet. But surely a 9950X 3D is basically the ultimate streamer, content creator, gamer CPU now, right? Surely. Those are going to just be absolute Giga Chad chips. I'm actually not a fan of the background FPS being different to the foreground FPS, particularly if you're rapidly switching between them. I found it can cause input lag issues. It definitely will. Yeah, it definitely will. Hello? What? Oh, did I somehow... What? Okay. Somehow I'd killed the world boss but never completed the associated world quest for killing the world boss. Odd. Core parking's been around forever. What issues does the 9950 have with that? I must admit it's not a term I'm familiar with. Or is it that it deliberately switches off some of the cores when not strictly needed? Because it's going to be... 9950X is probably, what, 16 cores base? Is it 16 core base or is it 24 core base now? I don't even know. I equally suspect those things are going to be 900 euros. I'll tell you what, not that it was ever cheap to enjoy enthusiast grade PC hardware, but it's getting hella expensive these days. It'd be cheaper to like pick up NASCAR or something. Flipping heavy drug addiction would be cheaper than playing PC gaming these days. I upgrade every 5 years. Seems to be a good number to spend about £3,000 on a new build. That's usually a ballpark number I've shot for. Since doing content creation, on a full-time basis, I've been looking to upgrade a bit more frequently than every 5 years. Every 2 to 3 years is what I try to do nowadays, just to kind of keep on top of things. But my last build was just over 3,000 euros. At least you can claim upgrades versus tax. Well, to a degree, to a degree, I'm unable to fully claim tax write-offs for these items, but I can at least partly. €3,000 is like 10k Aussie dollars. Could get a spaceship for that. I feel bad for Aussie dollars. Well, we'll be on Xbox soon. Just be a console gamer, maybe. Oh wait, did we lose that again? Why am I losing all my pet battles all of a sudden? What's going on here? That's not meant to happen. Could we try that again, please, game?
What are you doing here?
Clearly, my teams do not have 100% success rate. Depending on what tax bracket in, you get that much of a discount on items, essentially. Well, I can, if I was to buy a new PC as a whole PC, for example, because the value of a new PC would exceed €1,200, I wouldn't be able to claim the full value of it as a tax deduction, but it would go down as a depreciation qualifying item, meaning I can claim up to 25% of its value per year. And so, let's say I bought a €3,000 PC, I would get a tax reduction at the end of the year of like 25% of that value. But I would have to claim the value of the item back over a period of years rather than like in one go. Because it is a depreciable. But it gets a little bit more icky because I'm classed as self-employed rather than like an employer of my own business. So I still have to pay VAT on the products in the first place. So I pay 25% more than I probably should do because I still pay VAT on the items. It's complicated. It's the downside of doing this. I'm very, very lucky. I can stream, I can make YouTube content, I can provide guides to people. I'm very lucky I can do it enough that it makes enough money that I can consider doing it full time. But it doesn't make enough money for me to actually set it up as like a proper business, because the monthly business expenditure would outweigh the benefits. It's weird. I'm kind of in a awkward position. But I can't complain. It's just, you know, admin. It's just admin. Using a snowman in March is pretty risky. He's meant to be my level up character. He's not meant to be doing anything fancy. He's meant to just survive. Like that. And get a bit of experience. Okay. That should be... Let's go hand in the Weaver Pact. It's taken me an hour and a half to go do a bunch of world quests. This is not the speed or the performance I need to be maintaining. One of the teams was marked with RNG, had a win rate of approximately 98%. Some poor guy lost 3 in a row and declared the team broken. 10 people replied, #works for me. That's one of those just get wrecked loser. You win some, you lose some.
By the
It's
Queen,
quite funny.
for Ashkahed.
Right. I think we're now good. I'm not going and doing that one. I think we're good to go back. Hang on, why have you got a quest all of a sudden? Can you stop giving me quests?
Spans 13 generations.
Enchanted Runed Harbinger crest. Well, that's kind of useless, isn't it? Right. Undermine. Finally. It's only taken me an hour and a half to get into Undermine. Fortunately, what I did do most of on this dude yesterday was all of the side hustle stuff. World quests, all of that guff. So, the process on this dude is pretty easy. We gotta go kill some rares.
Watch yourself.
Kill some rares, basically. Kill some rares. As we do that, as we kill some rares, pick up some dumpsters. That will get our Sparks of War, hopefully. So we'll have a little cruise about. Might need to do some realm hopping here. The dumpster's still giving 5 Sparks of War each. Yes, beautiful.
Opportunity's knocking. If you've got the metal, there are valuables waiting to be won.
Wow. This shard has been cleaned of treasures. Been posting my auctions for 58 minutes now. I have a timer on and I'm not even halfway done. We need to have a week-long auction posting. I would both love that and hate that at the same time, though. You got to remember that that level of friction is also what kind of allows you to actually sell more stuff. If you think how quick some prices on stuff get tanked now with like maximum 48-hour listings, if they added a 7-day listing, yeah, it'd be convenient, but you'd sell significantly less. It's one of those things that it sort of, you know, it kind of paints the picture of it being an advantage, but I don't actually think it would. But it's one of those that like it's a hard to quantify thing. But yeah, you're right. The posting fees would be very impressive. You'd actually run the risk. you'd actually run the risk of it costing you more to list it for 7 days. If there was 168-hour listings, which is what 7 days is, by the way. If there was 168-hour listings instead of up from 48, you'd probably start running the risk of the... oh my god, I want none of that. You'd run the risk of the deposit fee being more than the vendor value. Right, we're getting off this shard. This shard is dead as a dodo. Oh, I say that. Oh, dead. Shit. Ah, oh, son of a... Realm hopping is actually a little bit sketchy when in war mode. If I accidentally land myself in an alliance heavy realm, I'm in trouble. Best way is to post for 12 hours, and the best time to post them is probably 6 afternoon or 7. You want to try and capture like a 12-hour listing posted. I mean, my playstyle is probably the most suited to 12-hour listings because I get up and I start playing the game at like 11 o'clock in the morning. If the first thing I did was post auctions and I posted them for 12 hours, that means they would they'd expire at like basically midnight, which means that my auctions are up and listed for the majority gameplay hours of the day. Now, of course, you're always going to have your sweaty night owls, aren't you? But then it means I log on in the morning, all of the auctions have expired, they're all in my mailbox waiting for me. To be honest, 18-hour listings is probably what we really want. 18-hour listings would be nigh on perfect, I think. 12 hours means you unfortunately have a lot of downtime where your auctions aren't physically listed, which isn't totally problematic as it allows for markets to sort of fluctuate a little bit. But 24 hours is kind of just a touch frustrating because it means you end up, if you post at the same time every day, it ultimately means that you actually have to cancel everything half the time, or you're just slowly pushing everything back all the time. It's annoying. Shimmering shoulder pads. Priority posting idea. You post a VIP fee for your auctions to not be able to be undercut. Like example, you pay 10k to keep your price on top. Somebody else can undercut you only if they overpay your VIP price. Oh my god. I know you're thinking out loud. But I can't possibly see how that would be abused. Not in the slightest. It's an interesting brainstorm activity, though. What could possibly go wrong with that? The market manipulation would be real. Oh, hang on. I'm not getting sparks of war from the overflowing dumpsters anymore. Why is that not a thing? Maybe that's not guaranteed from them. Oh, that's annoying. It was last week. All I needed to do was hit 20 dumpsters and I'd get that quest done. And I was hitting 200 dumpsters an hour when I tried. So it was a 5-minute job. Where's me sparks of war? Would you expect the Mecha Mogul mount to go up in price now the Motherlode is in the M+ roster as the parts being harder to get? Probably not. It's a legacy mount at this point. While it's still pretty valuable, I would imagine there is plenty enough of them out there in the wild already for the price not to move that much. Your logic is sound. I just don't think it will make that much of a difference, honestly. Plus, if I'm going to be brutally honest, I think there's probably significantly more of them in the wild than there would naturally be, because K-Chak's been making a big thing of it recently, of farming them, which has probably led me to believe that an awful lot of other people have copied him and done the same. Which, if that wasn't the case, I think you'd probably be right. But since it's probably true to say that there's more competition on selling the things recently anyway, I think it's a +1, -1, balances out sort of situation probably. Certainly won't be that noticeable, I don't think. Market volume hasn't changed that much as far as I could see. You can only see what's on the auction house though. That doesn't mean people don't have mats stocked up to relist when they sell theirs. That's the hidden unknown that you've always got to be careful of.
On this one.
Right, this one's not hitting 500, is it? Not unless something pretty impressive happens here.
Yeah, it happens sometimes.
Well, it might do if these guys put their back into it. This is going to be the fun thing with these digs, you know. Why I'm kind of quite hot on the opinion that things like the pets that come from this are probably really cheap right now. Just because we've probably seen the peak amount of people doing these.
Tag it up. We're done scrapping this one.
Not to mention, I think most people are done with farming trash piles before they've probably even unlocked the vintage cola cans. Meaning the amount of people that will be getting the lab rat and what's his name, Cruncher. There's the two pets, isn't there? Is it Cruncher? There's the cockroach and the Now the question is do I want to get into any PvP with this dude? Probably not, because he's probably going to nuke my ass, but if you don't try, you don't know, do you? He killed Nitro first anyway. Downside of doing rare farming on PvP realms. You don't get the tag if the other faction gets the tag. I might not bother with this Sparks of War quest. Or, no, that's a lie. I will bother with this Sparks of War quest. We're just going to have to realm hop to find a realm that has some actual treasures up. Got 18,000 fortune cards ready to flip. Is there something wrong with me? It's a nice amount of cards. There'll be some money in them cards. How we doing, Dirt? Welcome in. Good morning, good morning. Go on, Sparks of War. Tinderbox. Interesting. Confused to why they're not giving me Sparks of War anymore, though. Oh, the box isn't there. What is it? Oh, is this a trash can? Okay, these market research seem to be overriding the Sparks of War loot slot, which is weird. I was not seeing the same thing happen last week. Treasures are definitely rarer though. Clearly a lot of people out farming treasures or have unlocked the ability to pick up the dumpsters now. I had literal free reign of the place last week. And in war mode it was even easier last week. It's not looking good so far. Oh, Sal's dead. I only want this for the flipping rep. Can you even get sparks while in a raid group? Is that maybe what my issue was? That via realm hopping I was in a raid group? You might be right. You can't get Sparks of War in a raid group, just saying. Ha. Huh. Okay, well maybe that was my problem then. We try again. Shows how much PvP I don't do. Now we're cooking.
forces in the area. Get ready to grab them.
The price of mats and counting almost everything, the price of a chemical and chaos flask should be above 1.2k, but it won't go above 1k. I don't get it. Are you looking at the price of materials today? If you are, that's your first mistake. People will not be paying today price on their mats when they calculate their costs of flasks. Because most herbs are up significantly in value today. It does mean that those same players could do just as well to resell their herbs, to be fair, but that's not how people work or think. They have their buy price on their materials, they have their craft price on their flasks, and their buy price on their herbs can be significantly less if they've bought them before today. Which is where that calculation will come from. Oh, hang on, this is not where we need to be. You've been playing a lot of Monster Hunter. I've seen a huge amount of people get on board with that. Why, Rogue? Why? What's the point? Rogue do rogue things. I wasn't in the PvP area. Flipping out. $10k flasks are consumed every day. There is no way people have bought enough mats for this much consumption. I would respectfully disagree. I would respectfully disagree. Alchemy is without question the most competitive market in the game. Flasks and potions, second to none in terms of competitiveness. There are people out there that have been stocking mats for months, squirreling mats away, ready to craft and sell flasks to everybody that's looking at today prices of materials and questioning why. Not to mention, it is very much a tactical decision by a lot of big-time alchemists to deliberately keep the price of flasks and potions at single-digit margins. Because what you'll probably find is the price of a flask on the auction house right here, right now, is very, very, very low. But come this evening, when all of the guilds look to, all of the players in guilds look to buy up a bunch, you'll notice there'll be a 20 to 30% hike in the price of all the flasks. Whatever big walls of flasks you see on the auction house now will quickly disappear, and the price will go up, and then those players will spend an hour or two selling at the higher price, and then they slam the price back down again. Grimewick, let's go check Grimewick. He's over in the corner. Oh, there's a bit of a war going on in the middle. Let's avoid that. I'm not mad whilst prices are low. I'm more mad because I can't sell them for more profit. I feel I'm losing gold. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, the market for flasks is brutal. Absolutely brutal. It's why this patch, I've not really entertained much of it. I kind of got a sniff very early on that with so few changes to professions going into 11.1, people were going to stock up hard. Because people will have optimized their characters, their professions very, very heavily in Season 1 and have had months to just stock up. Months to prepare, months to stock up. Tens of thousands of concentration to assign into those professions. Like, these are all of the conditions needed for very, very aggressive prices on crafted goods. Now, that's not to say there isn't money out there, but if your entire focus is on one specific market, such as flasks, which is arguably one of the most competitive in the game, you've got to be playing better than everybody else, otherwise you're not going to make a profit. Are you guys talking about making flasks with concentration? I can't wrap my head around how you can make any profit without it. Well, it's simple. Herbs are 50% more expensive than they were 6 weeks ago. If you were making your flasks 6 weeks ago, it cost you substantially less to make each flask than it does to make a flask today. Today's prices doesn't matter to most people because they've already made the flasks. They've made them at a significantly cheaper price. And kind of like what you mentioned, people have had months to use their concentration on flasks. People stopped selling their flasks. People stopped selling their concentration crafted items shortly after Christmas, or many players did. And these are players that have armies of characters pumping out these materials every day. So they were spending to keep their concentration burning, but they weren't selling anything. So they have had literally months of time to produce large quantities of very cheap products. And they're selling them all now because now is the peak season, now is the peak demand. And now they are able to sell them for more than they were 3 months ago. And this is predominantly happening because so little changed. There wasn't new flasks, there wasn't new potions, there wasn't new enchants. It means everything that was prominent and valuable in Season 1 is valuable again in Season 2, and people have had months to prepare, months to plan all of this out. If you try buy materials on the auction house today to make a bunch of potions to expect to see a profit selling them today, you're just not. You're just not. And it's not because you're doing anything wrong. It's that other players have been, thinking about this for way longer. And have literally been preparing for months. But like I said, that's what happens when you put all your eggs in one basket. When you hyper-focus on a single market, you've got to be doing it better than literally everybody else. They've also sold on the region-wide auction house. So you're competing with literally every single alchemist in the entire EU. Every single one. And back when we had microeconomies, back when every server was its own little economy, it was much easier to keep your head above water. But now you're competing against every single alchemist in the entire region. And those that have tens of millions of gold already, and those that have been able to spend tens of millions of gold slowly over 3 months, buying materials, using their concentration to keep their crafting costs as absolutely humanly low as possible, have hyper-optimized their professions and had them optimized for a long time, are now selling their stock off and reaping the rewards. and it frustrates everybody that is looking to just like buy mats now, craft something now, sell something now, that it's just fundamentally not profitable to do in many cases. Alchemy's always been brutal. I've received death threats during Cataclysm because of my alchemy shenanigans. Alchemy's always super, super popular because you're literally selling people player power in a micro-consumable way. This is why alchemy is the most prominent market of everything. You look at all of the other professions. Enchants, well, you only enchant a piece of gear once, for the most part. Until you get a new piece of gear, you're unlikely to enchant it again. That's one purchase. That player's only going to purchase that enchant once. Whereas a potion, they can be churning through those potions, sometimes tens if not hundreds in an evening, and then they'll come back the next day for more. I am very aware of how competitive these markets are, which is why for Season 2 I didn't have the effort. I didn't personally, because I knew what effort would be required to do it. I went the alternative route of pushing this zone to its limits as fast as I can with the tools that I have available to try and extract some gold that way. Took a slightly different route this patch, and so far it's paying off. Don't have to deal with any of this crazy auction house shenanigans right now. And I've had a couple of weeks of basically free reign to abuse this zone for everything it's got. A few million gold worth of mogs, multiple millions worth of pets and mounts. It's good. It's good going. Where's the 69 giggity? As soon as we get these sparks done, we're going to switch war mode off. Can you clarify how the auction house works? I mean, what's the point of cross-realm posting if the auction house is cross-realm? Am I missing something? Only commodity items. Only what's considered a commodity item is cross-realm. When people say they're doing cross-realm selling, they're selling things that aren't cross-realm. So materials, potions, basic consumables, these are all commodity items. These are all cross-realm. Basically, when you go to the auction house, anything that stacks, anything that you sell in stacks and you buy off a list is a commodity item. Pets, recipes, mounts, transmog, all of that sort of stuff is not region-wide. That's still listed on individual servers. That's what people are spreading around different servers. They're buying it on one, they're selling it on another. Thaumaturgy has kept skinning alive this expansion. Thaumaturgy's done wonders this expansion. Not only that, it's also going to make a huge amount of this expansion basically evergreen. Materials from this expansion are always going to be worth something, and worth a lot more than materials historically have been once we leave that expansion. Usually, most materials basically end up being worthless as soon as you leave the expansion. Worthless from the perspective that nobody's really crafting anything with them. The crafted items from that expansion nobody cares for anymore. But thaumaturgy has made most base materials have a long tail value to them. And it's all because of the engineering mount. Engineers need ore. Ore can be acquired by mining it, or by thaumaturgizing it with an alchemist. Any material that can be converted via alchemy into ore will continue to hold its value similar to that ore in and of itself. So it's... did I end up on 99 sparks? Are you kidding me? So yeah, thaumaturgy alongside an engineering mount is going to make an awful lot of this expansion pretty evergreen in terms of value. Which is why, even if you're not taking much advantage of thaumaturgy right now, which I understand, because right here, right now, thaumaturgy is a maths problem that if you don't spend a lot of time figuring out that problem, you're going to lose. But in the future, that alchemist that's able to run thaumaturgy is going to be very useful to you. Very useful indeed. I mean, just look at, Vial of the Sands, for example. Look how many people... Look how often you see YouTube videos telling people to, still to this day, to farm the materials for the Vial of the Sands. Like, a mount... Admittedly, it was kind of quite a cool mount, 2-player mount. It's got more than just its looks. But the fact that it can be crafted and put on the auction house means that forever and a day it's held some value to other players. Some value to crafting it, some value to selling it, some value in farming the materials for it. There's no difference with the crowd pummeler. The crowd pummeler also is likely to be significantly more profitable for those that figure out their ratios and know the numbers. Because the Vial of the Sands, for example, is pretty straightforward. X of this material, Y of that material, makes mount, job done, right? Very, very easy to calculate its crafting cost. The difficulty with something like that is getting the recipe. Crowd pummeler is all about knowing your numbers on pilfering for the parts. If you know your numbers, if you figure out your numbers during this expansion, whilst there's lots of materials to test with, lots of demand for the items, you'll be in good standing for many years to craft them and sell them again. Farm for 22 hours to get that recipe, never again, yeah.
Returning to task. My directive.
How many? I've got 675 bloody tokens. Well, that's annoying, isn't it? That's like 25 short of what I actually need. That means there's not really anything on this list that I can pick up that's worth picking up with those.
Return and peruse my inventory again.
And I'm going to need significantly more conquest or honor to do by anything other. I'm just trying to think here about filling like so far dead slots with just a cheeky piece of high item level PvP gear or something, but not so easily achieved by the looks of things.
Calibrated my prices to
The honor gear is not worth picking up.
My directive has been fulfilled.
Okay, we can turn war mode off for now at least. Got 3 more rares to kill. Garbage, Sal, and Vivi. They usually require just sitting and waiting for, unfortunately. But realm hopping will be our friend, I think. Have you seen the words of Ian and Holly that their goal is to make one big server, if not technically, at least conceptually, so that players would see and feel no difference where they play? Region-wide auction house for the rest of the items is coming. There was a long time, for a long time they pushed this mindset of that they wanted each realm to have its own unique feel. Now I kind of think that that was just kind of hogwash. Honestly, I always kind of thought that was rubbish. What they want is and you can tell that's kind of rubbish by all of the cross realm this, cross realm that, sharding this, sharding that. Yeah, I think the ultimate goal is to make the game feel as vibrant and as alive as possible to as many players as possible. And in today's world, the only way to do that is to basically simulate merging everybody together. For the purpose of latency, players will still predominantly use a server that's located geographically close to them for like instancing and stuff like that. Maybe there'll be some, I reckon, and I've always wondered this, not that Blizzard will probably ever tell us, but I've always wondered when you use things like the Dungeon Finder, if when it puts players together, does it put players together with a similar ping? You would assume it probably does, right? It tries to put players that are geographically located close to each other together and then probably dump them on a server that is located close to them to keep all things like latency to a minimum. So when they expand that concept to like the actual game worlds, this is why the server you play on these days basically is a non-issue. Pretty much a complete non-issue, to be honest. They will, over time, develop the tech to basically make one large Uber server. It kind of is already there. Every little advancement we got cross-realm guilds in this expansion, which is one step closer to that philosophy. The auction house side of things, I've been hell-bent for a long time that they will eventually update the auction house and go fully region-wide with the entire auction house. The Warbands, I think, was their band-aid, because I think it's probably proving to be a little bit more complicated than they would like it to be, making the auction house fully region-wide. I don't think they have the solution yet, and I think Warbands is probably close enough for them for now to be content with it, but I would probably agree with you that it's probably still on their list of to-dos. But I just don't think it's a priority like it was a year or two ago. Because their priority was to make a level playing field for everybody. Having potions be 100 gold on one realm and 500 gold on another was not a level playing field for everybody. So materials, commodities, potions, enchants, gems, all of that on a region-wide scale was clearly a high priority. but luckily for them, a priority that wasn't too difficult to achieve. Material, gear, transmog, pets, recipes, all of the stuff that's still not fully region-wide is more of a challenge to make such. But because you can technically with your warband now, create a character on any realm you like and go buy something for cheaper if you want to, I'm not so convinced it's a high priority for them anymore. Not like it was a year or two ago, I think. One big Uber server will make mining and herbalism a nightmare. Well, like I said, like, you will just play, you'll play the game, and the game will just dynamically move you about. The game will dynamically move people about onto different shards to keep each shard at a certain population level. And it just will spin up new shards if the population grows higher or drops below, right? They've spoke a lot about this, and they've actually used Season of Discovery as a way to play with this technology and fine-tune that technology more so. There was some, quite early in Season of Discovery, there were some good articles that Blizzard wrote talking about exactly this. I can't remember which dev wrote them, but there was some interesting info out there about how they deal with sharding and how to put people on different servers, and some of the problems and the stumbling points when it comes to like automatically merging players on different shards. The fact that you can be halfway through a quest and then you'll get merged onto another shard, and then all of a sudden the mobs around you have all respawned instantly because you've moved onto a shard where they weren't dead previous, and, you know, it kills players. That's a jarring experience. So maybe they have, you know, developing the tech about how and when to move you onto a new shard, and this sort of stuff is something that they're tinkering with, they're playing with. We need sal and we need garbage, and then we've got every rare. Wow, if that is actually sala, that's like beyond perfect. Oh my god. Oh my... What? Oh, I definitely didn't get that tag, did I? I fat-fingered that. Zoomed off into the abyss. Whoops. Nobody saw that. That, unfortunately, is what happens when you don't dismount because you have latency issues. Damn. Okay. Right, two options here. In fact, only one option. We realm hop until we find him. Thrall. Sanguino. Yoink. Burning Legion. Farming this dude's going to be annoying, isn't he? Because he's literally just died on my realm. Right, we'll come back to that. Where is the public defender's office? Up there. Who are we talking to? Who are we talking to? Hello? Investigate the public defender. Family photo. Beautiful. Framed family photo. You glean from it that the Slate's agency probably has a family. Definitely a photo of one at least. Bookcase. Marty's bookcase. There are numerous books, several are on goblin lawyering, and of course there are a significant amount of tomes on other races, legal practices, human, Volparian, Dwarven, Nerubian, Folbog, the list goes on. There's also one at the bottom titled How to Get Out of Parking Tickets More Than Once. Nice. Borrow it, promising that I'll bring it back at a later date. Yes, please. Did we actually borrow it? How to Get Out of Parking Tickets More Than Once. What's the third thing we're meant to be looking at? Certifies that one Marty Zoomcart has successfully completed Undermine Commerce College's course in lawyering. Okay. Oh, hang on. Garbage is up. Garbage is up. Not that garbage is usually hard to find. Oh, garbage is dead. No, he's not. I zoomed straight through him. Tinderboxes with these materials could be a great buy considering how they were looking at the end of Season 1. I spent 4 mil on them yesterday. Somebody's want to sell. If you're not in a raid group, my friend, you're going to have difficulties with that. Maybe he is in a raid group. People still trying to sell the mount of this. I mean, fair play to you, but anybody that wants it's got it by now. Oh, Sal's up apparently. Let me go, go, go. Shoe off, out the way. Leave the rare. Got him. People are joining the Belladar spawning and trying to sell them out. I don't know if it feels scummy. I mean, it's personal loot, so whether there's more or less people, I think whether there's more or less people, I don't think it makes any statistical difference to whether you get the mount or not, as far as I'm aware. Unless it only drops 1 per kill, and then if that's the case, then that's a bit scummy. You're taking up a slot to then only try and sell it, sort of thing. I don't know. Got to respect the hustle, though. It's the same with that flipping garbage mount, right? You just got to respect the hustle.
Welcome to the best place ever.
Usually drowning in my paperwork far more figuratively than a moment ago.
Keep cool out there.
My name is Marty Zoomcart, Public Defender, an agent against assigned to the Galagio's case for the state of Undermine. What a mouthful. Just call me Marty. This icon indicates this quest has been completed by your warband. This quest has definitely not been completed by my warband. So the deed holder, Rosebud Gallywix, is dead and nobody knows who done it. And some nobody, you, has the deed. Frankly, a common occurrence. Plenty of precedents, just no time. Here's the skinny. If we don't attach some new legal owners to the deed, it's getting put up on the auction house like a pair of decade-old pants. Establish a plan to keep the Galagio out of the auction house. You'll be able to pick some rewards. More importantly, rep. Go.
How you doing, pal? Time's a-wasting.
Inspect the deed to the Galagio. See all those squiggly lines? Chief executives hired by Rosebud attached the deed as its founding employees.
What's the news? Watch your back. Yeah?
Don't really need either of these.
Keep cool out there.
Our first marks the dynamite duo of gaming, KJ and Fantastic Davey. Been a few years since I was hustling macaroons in the electro billiard halls. I wasn't bad, but those two cleaned the house whenever they showed. They don't just win games either, they make them. Real artist types, you know. But with great gaming comes great debt, and it's usually to Venture Co. Meet me at the heaps if Rosebud's death means they're out of work. I bet money Venture scooped them up. Okay. So we're going to go hustle a few people to try and secure the Galagio's future. Where did you come from? How many keys have I got, actually? I'm just thinking about doing delves this week. I've got 6 keys this week. Where's the things that you convert to make more keys? Do I have any of them? I do. 103. Well, that's convenient. Right, now I have 7 keys. That's a good start.
Doing, pal? Watch your back.
Rosebud's chiefs on our list are the genius gaming duo KJ and Fantastic Davey. Now, I heard from my wife's brother that Venture Co bought up all the debt those boys got. Happened the minute Rosebud was done in. Did they murder him? Not a great motive if their debt was sky high, but you never know whose pocket a goblin is in either. Best we see how comfortable they are here in the old Venturewood landfill. If they don't want to sign the new deed, we might have our culprits.
See you around.
Right, interrogation mode on. I've started carrying alts through Delve 8 with my main so that they get geared and don't have to rely on other people in the Undermine to kill rares for me. Smart. Smart. I was talking about this a little bit yesterday. I'm quite tempted to boot up account 2 and account 3
Break time.
To do something very similar.
Interesting. Yeah?
Love my work here at Venture Co. Ideal boss.
What you got?
The happiest Sandalari crustaceans. If you were truly invested in poaching their services, perhaps we can make a deal.
Back to it.
There's gold in them, their trash. KJ and Davey are indeed masters of creating games. They've created a new one for me that's been an absolute hit. If you're willing to accept the risk, then I'll give you the chance to win their employment and debt from me. Grab a pickaxe, enter the landfill. When the whistle blows, you'll compete against my other quote-unquote employees. Win by the final bell, and I'll let these two go. Lose, and I'll own you. It's called slot mining, and it will indebt you to me for life, completing the slot mining at the heaps. Sure.
Whatever.
Grab a pick. Go. Mine those slot machines.
What's good?
No? Gold crazed kobolds. Always kobolds. They drop check cards? Interesting. Although I'm led to believe check cards basically drop off anything. These check cards, by the way, I think you need like 40 of these and you can turn them into a new checklist. Which is kind of your ticket to boosting these 4 sub-factions a little bit faster. If you so choose to. Hey look, there's a big old leaderboard for this. Venture Co slot mining leaderboard. Calculations are 100% accurate. T-Bon Ara. TB Fizz. I'm in 4th place.
What's the news? Keep cool out there.
I know we're the ones that incurred our own debts, but Rosebud believed in us. With him, there was a light at the end of the casino floor. With him gone, we're just 2 halves of a gaming genius working for hire instead of salary. Zoomcarts told us there's still a chance we could work the Galagio. Is that true? If Davey and I are in. Problem is that Davey and I's debt markers are held by the gaming commissioner himself, Cud Milktooth, and he's deep in Tarby's pocket. Collect KJ and Fantastic Davy's debt markers from Commissioner Cud Milktooth. An individual of many pockets, he was in Gallywix's pocket, but is now in Tarbonara's.
See you around. What's the damage?
Winning is for losers anyway. This is the worst job I've ever had, and I used to work Turtle Toss at the Dark Moon Fair. Have you tried work orders? We're not impressed here physically with shackles, but Tarbonara owns all our debt. He imprinted the information on debt markers, which his goons hold onto, just in case any of us want to know where we stand. But if you get hold of those markers, we're all free. You'd have to crack some skulls to get them, though, so I'll give you points for each of his goons you bring down. Okay, sure. Oh, that's why this dude's had a question mark above his head forever and a day. It all makes sense now. I've killed him many times, killing this rare, but just never knew why he had a question mark above his head. Are they bop? They are, yeah, these check cards, yeah, they are. It means you have to farm them on the characters. Kill Tarbo enemies. Collect the miners' cards. Kill you. That's who I was waiting for. Debt marker, miners' debt cards. Okay, now we need a few more of these apparently.
We burn brightly together.
Alright, now your debt is paid.
Communication initiated.
Quickly, quickly!
Always got stuff to offer.
Victory lies ahead.
Be free. Be free. What's that? 6, 7? 3 more to go. You can be free.
There's always hope if we choose to look for it.
You can be free.
Stay in the light.
And one of you gets to be free.
Don't waste my time.
The Goblin. We're biased. Be free, guys. Off you go.
Welcome to the best place ever. Time's a wasting.
Everybody packed in good. This will definitely not get us pulled over.
Watch your back.
Nice. Our next mark is Jojo Gobdray in the VAT Works. She's a big-time chief, the real deal. Running the cuisine at the Galagio would have meant franchise opportunities. Is there a reason she'd want Rosebud dead? Either way, we need a lead on what she's cooking these days. Luckily, I've got an old pal who should have info. He's a little bit of a big shot for Steamweedle, but we should be able to find him on top of his rooftop hideaway.
Time's a wasting.
Okay. Let's roll. Boing! Nice.
Yeah?
Take a seat. Okay, sure.
Watch your back.
Not sure if your schnoz picked up what mine did on the drive over, but there is some delightful smells coming from the streets below. Problem is, the crowds were too thick for me to find Gobdray anywhere. That's where Noggy comes in. He's a pretty important fella these days, so I figured he'd have some sort of in for us. He's generally an unfeeling scientist type who doesn't like to spill secrets, but his pride is also fragile as my wife's Rumble figurines. Give it a poke he should spill. Get Marin Noggenfogger to spill the beans on Jojo Gobdray's whereabouts. Okay.
Problem? I got a solution. Have I got a potion for you?
I've heard the food in the VAT Works is awful.
Whoa, don't rush off on my account.
Oh, that was easy enough. Can I not use this to get back down? Apparently not. Quite the queue.
Yeah, what do you want? Keep it real. Interesting. Hurry back.
Show me you ain't just talk. I give diner cards to each customer they're supposed to fill out with their review on my menu and return it here, but I haven't seen any yet. Fishy much? Definitely. Not the kind I like. Go fetch my reviews back. I ain't budging an inch in the Galagio's direction without them. 100 diner review cards? I hope this isn't actually a grind. Right, what are you fellas saying? Oh, he just had 11 review cards. Who has 11 review cards?
And you are...
Can I beat them out of you? Ah, they've put them in the dumpster. Review stuffed trash can. They clearly wanted to get their money's worth out of the trash can animation.
Time is money, friend.
My rivals were taking cards because Tarbonara told them it'd run me off their turf. Couldn't they just cook better food instead? Maybe not. The diners overwhelmingly scored one dish above all others. Pan-seared deep walker thigh with blood-spiced confit Algarian orbinid. What a mouthful. I was hoping that would dissuade the customers from writing it on their cards. Trouble is, I can't make pan-seared anything without a pan. And I sold my best pan when the Galagio deal fell through. Want me back on board? Get my pan. Those deep walker thighs ain't gonna sear themselves.
Have a good one.
Sure. Let's go hunt down some chef's pan. This quest line is starting to feel a little bit like a fever dream.
Hey, what's the news?
Oh, now I need a goldfish in order to get the pan. Clever. Luckily, I already have one.
Don't work too hard.
Oh wait, have I got to ask you how it works? It's pretty simple. You reel in the gold fish and we'll give you prizes when you hand them over. A lot of gunk has flowed out of the vatworks into these pristine rivers. The radiation makes that gunk shine like gold. I guess they also look a little like fish too, if you squint. It's the premierest conservation effort of the century, brought to you by the timely partnership of the Steamweedle Cartel and the Basco Limited. Oh, I've still got to fish one for the purpose of the quest. Oh, that's annoying. I've still got to actually fish one. Well, at least we've solved the mystery of what these goldfish were for. And it explains why the NPC just randomly disappeared at the start, because it was kind of tied to the end of the campaign. My question is because all of these have spawned here, does this make this the best time to farm up the 15 goldfish for the turn-ins here? Oh, no, because they all go away as soon as we get one.
Yeah. Time's a waste.
We'll fish up some more at some point. Another day.
Welcome to the best place ever.
Blackwater Beach Blast. You've done good work with Jojo, real good. I'll stick around, seal the deal, and then meet you over at the Blackwater Marina for the final signature. Had my radio turned to WGOB 101 FM whilst dropping off the 15 landfill-centred individuals earlier. DJ BB Rev announced there would be a battle of the bands at the marina today. Wouldn't you know it, Rosebud's chief executive of entertainment is playing. The band you're looking for is the Cellar Gnomes. Meet Marty Zoomcart at the marina.
Cool out there.
It's quite a cool little quest chain. Even if it is a bit fever dreamish. Hang on, overflowing dumpster. Come back to the quest in a minute.
What's the news? See you around. Well, well, well.
No warmer pact. Can't believe Revelgas scheduled us first. Nobody shows up for the first band. Whatever. You were the one that old hair Marty mentioned. He's already gave me the lowdown on your plan to keep the Galagio from going to auction. Seems ridiculous, which makes it kind of our plan. Let's make a deal. Our manager dumped us when the casino deal went south, so you're going to fill in for her today. Don't worry, couldn't be worse than any other job you've done. First thing on the list, gather a crowd.
You trying something, pal?
Right, let's go tell people that Cellar Gnome is the shit. Ha! These guys weren't impressed. Gelvis impersonator. Uh-huh. How many we got to impress? 100%. Oh, these two are a bit cranky. You're a bit cranky too. Jesus, Galvis impersonators are Crank Zanata. Galvis and Grank Sonata. Some creative licensing going on there, Blizzard. I always wondered if there'd be quest lines up here. Seemed like a cool zone to make without any quests in it, but not the first time we got we got Harris Pilton. Yes, we did get Harris Pilton. All the way back in TBC, you're right.
Interesting.
Great job, you brought in a crowd. You better believe it. Take this Mecha Tyran Bell. I don't care what you... I don't care that you can't play an instrument because you will be playing this one. While we're jamming, members of the rival bands will storm the stage to stop us. Not only will the Tyran Bell ring out in perfect pitch, it'll also blast anybody not in our band all the way back to the cheap seats. Okay. And her bottomless hole. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they clearly weren't concerned about throwing some shade back then, were they? Oh. Start playing. Let's go. Rock and roll. Oh, shit! Flipping out, these guys ain't messing about. What's this? We escaped the crowd, apparently. What the hell's going on here? Okay, that clearly didn't go as planned.
What's the damage?
Best gig we ever played. Didn't feel like the best gig.
You trying something, pal?
I think it's called the bottomless bag now. Oh, probably.
How you doing, pal?
Another series of miscellaneous and legally questionable tasks done, Manthe. Well done. You should really consider going into this line of work full time, whatever that line of work is exactly. I'll grab the gnome's signatures, meet you back at the office. Normally I'd be willing to give you a ride, but I've got a personal errand to run first, you'll see. Meet Marty Zoomcart back in his office. Did I do shipping and handling this week? I did. Where's the treasure? Oh, it's up there. Oh, I'm not killing Galagio security just for a treasure. That one's free though. Oh, turns out it's not.
Yeah? Time's a-wasting.
Today's the day for shiny shoes. We got our deed signatures, we've got support from the cartels, and we've got my kids. My wife was supposed to come with us today as well, but she slipped in the shower. Can you believe that? She'll be at the chiropractor all morning. I feel awful for her, absolutely awful. Well, her loss. Let's pack up what we need and I'll drive us all over to the courtroom.
Watch your back.
Bring your kids to work day, apparently. Right. Junior Zoom cart. Papa told me all about you. From what I understand, you're terrible at business. Pro tip, stop agreeing to work before payment has been received. It makes you seem desperate. Talk about tip culture with work orders, right? Right, battle plans. Pseudo property ownership standard Undermine edition. Where's this then? I'm Atom Zoom Cart. I ate a deck of cards this morning and now JC says my breath smells. What were we talking earlier about? Special? Special individuals? Yes. Who and where next? Pseudo property ownership standard Undermine edition.
I get no respect
Kendo.
around here. Don't try anything stupid.
I like my pink elephants, but they do kind of get in the way. Yoink. Are we good to go? Let Marty know you're ready.
Going, pal. Time's a wasting.
Drive with the Zoom carts, arrive at the court. Let's go. Yo, let me in. This must be a 5-seater mount. This must be a 5-seater. Never mind a 3-seater. 2 bonus kiddie winks in the back, look. When should I use concentrate for crafting? Should I only use it on expensive items? To give you the mathematically accurate answer, you use it when it's profitable to use. Determining when that is, though, finishing reagents is just a bit of maths, right? You got to take into consideration how much it costs you to use the finishing reagent. What does that finishing reagent cost? And is it going to add more value to the craft than it costs? If the answer is yes, use finishing reagents. If the answer is no, don't bother. The easiest way to ensure, because crafting reagents are usually quite cheap, the easiest way to math it out simply is to, yes, only really bother using finishing reagents on big, expensive crafted items. This means things like potions and stuff are usually far too cheap to bother using finishing reagents on.
Welcome to the best place ever.
Craft Sim, for example, does a lot of this maths for you. Could use a 5-seater about now. Yeah, oh, I bet. Yeah, I bet. Some 5-seater multi-boxing, flying around treasures, rare farming. Yes, for sure. Right, Casino Court then. I'm all about to make our case. Just one tiny little minor thing to let you know about. There's a bomb under my desk here. Okay, don't be alarmed. It ain't the first time that this has happened, but there's a lot of people here, and I'd hate to interrupt the proceedings for one little explosive. Take this Explodar 64K and use it to trace the bomb's signature back to the Goblin with the trigger. My lawyer's instinct is telling me that the culprit behind the explosive is also Rosebud's killer. Just a hunch. Trigger Sniffers Greaves. We get some Trigger Sniffer pants. Defuse the bomb. Trace the next bomb. Multi-bombs. Time to upgrade to the bomb pets, keeping in with the style. Yeah, we might swap them out for some bomb pets. Or 2 500k cocks. That's real Goblin, that is. I can't believe they added a 500k hunter pet. Excuse you? I'm not lying. 500,000 gold. I just unmuted you and the first thing I hear is 2 500k cocks. It's kind of funny without context. It's funny with context.
What's the news?
Tarbonara, he's the bomber. Really? The only reason I'm so surprised is because it felt too obvious.
Watch your back.
Tarbonara Fizzlecrank.
How you doing, pal?
You've got us the hard evidence we needed. All that's left to do is reveal Rosebud's killer to the judge. I imagine Tarbonara won't go down lightly, so be prepared for one of any number of goblin-like reactions. You know what I mean? Explosions, cannons, crying, or casino heists or whatever. I'm not worried, though you seem capable. Defeat Tarbonara, Fizzlecrank, and ensure Judge Landro notarizes the new Galagio deed. Cousin to Grimler, trade prince hopeful, murderer of Rosebud, treasurer of Jaster Gallywix, classy club for classy wixes.
Keep cool out there.
Present some murder evidence. Trying to give you the evidence. Take it. Take it. Oh, don't bug out on me now. Take it. Hello, game. Oh, don't break shit now. Reload. It's all going horribly wrong. I'm trying to present evidence in a murder trial. Oh my god, the pop-ups when I load my game. It's like an early 2000s flipping web browser. It won't let me present the evidence. I'm gonna have to. We're going to do the accept job trick.
Time to work, sugar. Ready, set, go.
No.
Yeah? Time's a wasting.
No! Why is it bugged?
Hey, how you doing?
Stupid game.
It's go time, sugar. Let's make a buck.
Right. Full relog it is. Full relog it is. Failing that, turn all add-ons off. Don't fail me now, Blizzard. So any world quests nearby that can screw with the quest, otherwise abandon and re-accept. I've done all of the world quests.
Welcome to the best place ever.
It's fucking Fubard. Well, this sucks a fat one, doesn't it? I'm going to try other things that potentially... Hunter pets often cause chaos. No. Flipping out. Step 5, do the horn chain again on an alt. Oh my god. Right clicking literally did it. What a stupid flipping game. Okay. Now I look like a dumb. Every one of these interact things is always left click on it. Now all of a sudden it's right click on it. Flipping hell. Oh, okay. Right, fuck him up. Let's go. Let's go. I'm at a loss for words, and that does not happen often, I may add. Hey, look. We have good days, we have bad days. Let's go save the judge. Now it was left click, by the way. I just want to point out that this one, it was left click.
How you doing, pal?
Why have I got 2 Marty zoom carts? One that's literally zooming. What's this dude doing? Why have I got a second copy of him?
Yeah?
Hello, Blizzard? What's he doing? I said to be prepared for a goblin-like reaction, and oh boy did we get one. As you can see, everybody followed Gazlo into scuffling with Tarbonara's goons. We did pretty good. Myself, I'm heading to the Galagio's entrance with the new deed holders all up there. I want to wish them well before you and I are promoted from lawyers to customers.
Watch your back.
You'd make a good lawyerer. You know that? Just kidding. The real industry secret is that there's no such thing as good lawyerers. Why don't you join me at the Galagio's entrance? It'll be a nice send-off for the kids who are going to run this place now. Not to mention that we should actually hand them the notarized deed. We get our public defender's coat, which is half the reason I was doing this in the first place. Our bonus rep.
Yeah, what do you want?
You got a problem? I got
Sometimes it feels like there's never an ending stream of problems to solve coming out of the proverbial sewer drain. This one, or let's just say this one, feels like a personal favour to all of Undermine. Ain't no key to the city, but Marty wanted to pass on his best lawyering outfit to you. Wear it with pride. Public defender's coat. Nice. Boom. Achievements. We've finally finished the storyline. We should put the coat on, shouldn't we? Are we allowed in here yet? Out of curiosity. After all of that, are we actually allowed in? No. See you later. Right. I'm going to guess. I'm going to hazard a guess. In fact, where is it? I need to learn it first.
Farewell, friend of the Grummels.
Here we go. Public Defender's coat.
Oh, I have just the thing, Wanderer.
We might need to get rid of the backpack. How do I get rid of the backpack? Okay, I know guild tabards are meant to sit on the outside, but...
May your feet find good trail.
Public Defender Manthe. Looking fly. Nice. Nice. Looking fly. I want the black one though. The black one, because the black one is like pure Matrix. It's seriously cool. Doesn't quite match the gloves or the boots, but you know what? Our mug is always questionable. Okay. Right, well that was cool then. That was the final little storyline. That means this dude is... We're ticking boxes with this dude. Ticking boxes. We are on our way to renown 19. Just killing rares and doing a few world quests will get 19. Probably not going to do the stretch of trying to get to 20. I think I'm pretty much run out. I think I'm pretty much spent on easy sources of renown this week. I'd have to do like 160 world quests in the Undermine to get the final renown to hit 20 this week, and I don't think I can be bothered doing that. Okay, that means then this dude is actually pretty much done for now, which is nice. I could do with doing some Bountiful Delves though. I might do Side Street Sluice real quick on this dude. Should probably try and keep up with doing some Bountiful Delves for sure. Yeah, I have spent the entire day again not really farming rares, which is the main goal right now. I'm renowned 7. A lot of people got to 5 and were like, yeah, I'm good with 5. Kind of disappointed we weren't allowed in the Galagio properly though. Considering we'd done all of that hard work to like get it sorted. There should have gone and been some like slot machines or mini games or something in there. Maybe that will come in the next patch or something. Who knows? Cool little storyline though. I like the storyline in this zone. Very Goblin themed, very thematic. I like it. I like it. Probably not everybody's up to everybody's taste, but I enjoyed it.
I have many wares.
Right. What I do need to do though is then look at getting some alts through here. Get some of these rares farmed. We've not had a single miscellaneous mechanica today. Only 3 hours and 20 minutes into your rare farm. Yeah, I know. I've only got 6 bonus check cards. I've got some gunk covered thingies I can go turn in actually. I spent so much of last week absolutely blasting rares. I wanted to spend a day or two maybe not stressing about the rares too much. But it's all business again in a minute. Where's the dude we turn these into? Here it is.
See you around.
See if we get anything good in these. Bunch of resonance crystals, bunch of valor stones, 1 piece of mog, 1 610 piece of plate. Not much from them either. Right, might be alt time. Might be alt time. I'm going to take a quick break for 2 minutes, boys and girls. And then we'll probably log on to an alt and see. In fact, we should probably have a little bit of a look. Oh, hello. We should probably have a little bit of a look through this player housing stuff, shouldn't we? Right. Give me 2 minutes, boys and girls. I'll be back in a couple. All the pieces of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Ooh, a piece of candy. Lies. Lies, I tell you. Lies, I tell you. Should we have a little look at this player housing business then? I wanted to read this article in detail. I only flicked through it yesterday. But there's they put this little post out yesterday. Most of you have probably already seen it. Wait, what's this? A large study shows that drinking alcohol is good for your cholesterol levels. Oh well, say hello to a squirrel. What the hell is this? Surely not. Bad in many ways. Raising a glass can raise various problems, blah, blah, blah. In fact, it's surprisingly good for your cholesterol. Researchers at Harvard University led the study. It included nearly 58,000 adults in Japan who were followed for up to a year using a database of medical records from routine checkups. Researchers found that when people switched from being non-drinkers to drinkers during the study, they saw a drop in their bad cholesterol, while their good cholesterol went up. In other hands, drinkers who stopped drinking during the study saw the opposite effect. Giving up on booze, their bad cholesterol went up and their good cholesterol went down. Yeah, I'm sure the negatives probably still outweigh the positives. People who went from drinking 0 drinks to 1.5 drinks a day or less saw their bad cholesterol fall and their good cholesterol go up. Yeah, I still probably wouldn't suggest taking up drinking just for the purpose of slightly reducing your cholesterol. But yeah, sure, focus on the positives. Right, so why is... Okay, weird. It's going to resize that window every time. Right, so let's have a little bit of a look at this then. Some disclaimers about this player housing article. The article focuses on interior decorations and only a single room. There's still plenty to cover beyond the basics of decoration, but that's for another time. We're going to show you a lot of work in progress assets and UIs, as well as using some terms that are not finalized. So please focus more on the functionality and less on the details of just how specific things look or sound yet. TLDR, early stages. Don't be a dick about things. Decoration has 2 primary modes, both basic and advanced. You can freely toggle between them at any time whilst decorating with a single key press. Basic mode allows you to quickly place or remove objects and then move them around whilst keeping their movements somewhat constrained to make putting something together pretty quick and easy. It has a number of rules in place to help with this. Decor can be moved around on the ground and will move on top of things as it bumps into them or down to the ground as they reach the edge. This lets you move around and have them interact in an expected way. Decor can be rotated around its up axis with rotation snapping to 15-degree increments, so objects don't accidentally align with other objects as you rotate them, and you can see that here, I presume. That there's a relative grid system. You can move things on that grid system, put things where you want, place them. Solid. I've been sober for 14 years, sure. I'll pick up drinking now to reduce my bad cholesterol. Yeah, sure. Decor has collision with other pieces of decor, as well as the floor, the walls, the ceiling, and players are unable to move decor through other things. No losing things in the walls. Decor will align to the floor, the wall, or the ceiling, depending on what sort of decor it is. So a rug will align with the floor, while a painting will align with a wall. If you move it around a corner, it will continue to align properly. This also means that decor will snap to the ground if you move it off something. So you can see here the window, for example, can be positioned anywhere on the wall or on any sort of vertical axis by the looks of things. Okay. Certain types of smaller decor will parent to other types of larger decor items when placed on top of them. This means when you move the larger decor, the smaller decor moves along with it. This allows you to, for example, place books on a bookshelf and then move the whole bookshelf instead of having to move everything individually. So put stuff on the table, put down your lobster, put down your stein, your book, another book, and then you can pick up and move the whole table with everything in situ. Pretty clever. Like that. It's going to make customization much easier, like that. That's a big one for anybody who's played a number of games with housing where if you bump into your shelf, everything in it goes flying. Players can show a grid and can enable snapping, which will snap decorations to the points on the grid, helping you keep everything neat and tidy. It will even shrink down when you're placing something on a smaller surface like a table. Cool. Advanced interior design. But that is so restrictive, we hear you saying. Don't worry, just switch to advanced mode and feel the true power at your fingertips. Advanced mode effectively turns off a lot of the basic rules of the basic mode, but also offers up additional tools of its own. Decor has no collision in advanced mode. Want to push a chair into the wall? You do you. So in advanced mode, you can just move things. Yep, this is how people will make some absolutely outrageous statues or designs or something. So, have your clipping if you want your clipping. You can enable gimbals, little 3D controls on the objects, which will allow you to move all objects in 3 axes, including floating them up into the air without having to jump through hoops. A gimbal is a pivoted support that permits rotation of an object around its axis. Okay, so you can pick your table up and you can make your table float, right? Make your table float. Make it float in 3 dimension. Clever. Sure. Sounds good. A different gimbal can then be used to rotate an object freely on any axis as well. So we can flip the table upside down. Nice. The UI elements are already looking manageable. Finally, a third gimbal can scale the object's size up and down with some generous limits, making something smaller or making it giant. Big table. Big fish, little fish, cardboard box. Okay, that's cool. Advanced mode will let you interact and design things with very specific controls or make whatever your heart may desire. Internally, using this, employees have taken bushes and made them into a garland for their fireplaces, constructed a boat's prow from a bed, or made paint buckets into small spice racks for their kitchens. Yeah. This is the thing I was saying a while ago, that they need to make the tools, and I even think this needs to go almost as far as the actual items itself. They need to give players the tools and then let players be creative. The Sims item marketplace, for example. Let clever people make things that can then be shared and distributed. I mean, I know Blizzard won't do this, but if they allow for user-created items, it will allow almost infinite levels of creativity. Yet, I know Blizzard won't do it. Because I know Blizzard will use the Christmas theme furniture set. I mean, I wonder where I got that idea from. But like the Christmas theme furniture set will be in the trading post or in the store or something along those lines. Selling blueprints on the auction house. Yeah, there's lots of things they could do with this. I really want them to just like let the reins off. Like, you know, have user created items. If you want to put a massive flipping whale in the middle of your living room, sure, you do you. Like, just let people play. Because the less restrictions on this sort of stuff, the more creative players will be, the more time players will spend doing it, the more, you know, proper job it, really. We have been dying for housing. In addition to the decoration modes, we wanted to call out some other functionalities and choices we've made. Some because they're cool and worth sharing, and others because they directly answer some of the questions we've seen since the first article went up. For newly created assets, as opposed to legacy ones from existing art, we're allowing players to dye them in a variety of colours. So if you find a chair, but you wish the upholstery was blue instead of grey, you can make that change. But what if the blue doesn't match the stain of the wood or the wood colour of the metal now? Well, you can fix that as well. So we can change the bed. And we can change the colour gradient on the beds. Okay. So if you want a pink bed, you can have a pink bed. Sure. Green rug, green bed. Swabs or dyes or whatever you want to call them, pigmentations. These have been things that players have been asking for transmog for years. Shame it's only for the new things. This is why I think that Blizzard needs to like give players the tools, right? If Blizzard gives people an item creator tool, players will make their own items. You know, they'll put the skeletons together. They'll mesh it all together. Players will spend hundreds of hours doing this. I mean, I've already brought it up once, but like the Sims Marketplace. Just an almost infinite library of player customized stuff. Sure, 90% of it's trash. But the good stuff rises to the top, right? If they do what other MMORPGs do, they'll make hundreds of millions with furniture sets and special houses. This entire concept was fun, you know. The Sims as a franchise is entirely based on this. As soon as they opened it up and let the community marketplace shine, like, it's just infinite possibilities. That's not all. It's not just decorations to use to customize your space, but the wallpaper, the ceilings, and the flooring as well. You can mix and match these to elicit various cultures and vibes, or just make up your own. You can take things a step further too and use partition objects to build walls where there were none before, letting you make rooms with arbitrary interiors. Oh, this is clever. So your house is in essence going to be a potential like flat square floor plan, but you can then divide it up how you wish. So I mean, if you want your kitchen in one corner and your sex dungeon in the other, then you do you, right? You can make it so. Interesting. Speaking of mixing and matching, we saw a lot of questions around what would be allowed in terms of decor. Inside your home, you can decorate however you want. So if you want Blood Elf wallpaper with a stone roof and a wooden floor, you go for it. Before we go outside, while we're not really talking about exteriors in this article, it's worth mentioning that the outside size of your house has no bearing on how big the interior is. If you want a huge mansion outside with just one room inside, or a tiny shack on the outside but a dozen rooms inside, you do you. We'll share more about the exteriors of your home later though. Ooh! This for me is where it might not be to my personal liking, because I wanted the housings, the plot locations, the sizes of the houses to fall into that status symbol category, right? Whereas, you know, you might need to earn, or you might need to buy the bigger house with the bigger rooms. If they're going to go the TARDIS approach, yeah, where like you step into it and it's just whatever, it's as big or as small as you want to make it be. I mean, sure, it's equal opportunity for everybody, but there was part of me that wanted, like, you know, plot 1 Stormwind City to be like the most sought after one, the one your you know, your guild master would probably own or something like that, you know. Big step up from Garrisons, absolutely, yes, this is a huge step up from Garrisons. So much more to discuss with the decorations. Where do we get stuff? How do I show off my collection of transmogs, pets and mounts? How do professions fit in? And more. Never mind neighbourhoods, we can't wait to share more. Please keep sending us your feedback and we'll keep building. But in the meantime, here's another screenshot that a team member has made mixing some various styles. Like funky looking sort of lovers in the air seat here. Nice fireplace dotted in the middle. Some what do you call them, candelabra things from the ceiling. Some plants on the wall for a bit of decoration. Wooden bookshelf. Nice colour matched rug with the bed set. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. We look forward to sharing more with you as we continue to give you more insights on the new housing system. It's looking solid. There's no denying it's looking solid. This has clearly been a big work in progress for a long time, because they've basically had to redesign their game engine. And this is probably why it's completely separate from the main game, right? You'll have neighborhoods. You'll go into your house, but it's like a completely instance version, and it feels like it's going to be a completely separate engine they'll have made to facilitate this. Because the current one that we play with in the game doesn't really support this kind of placement of stuff, which is one of the big reasons why it's taken so long for them to do it, I reckon. How will they monetize it? Oh, monetization on this is so easy. So easy. Every single time there's a holiday event, you bet your ass there'll be a theme pack or something. Like, the monetization options are outrageous. This is probably why they'll want to make sure that everybody has access to their player housing. You can have they've already said with neighborhoods, right, that you'll be able to have a Horde one and an Alliance one. Just look at how the Sims do their packs. Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah, you take 2 minutes and look at the Sims as a genre. You think the trading post will have decos? Absolutely, yeah. Want to look through the comments? It's not a Wowhead post, so I'll consider it. Cooking. How many tiers will it cost us? Shut up, you tool. It's already cost us the fated patch with all 3 raids that would happen at the end of the expansion. They've already stated as much. I mean, they haven't, but the likelihood is it's gonna, player housing will come out towards the end of this expansion. It doesn't seem to be specifically tied to Midnight as an expansion. I genuinely hope that besides being a way to display and reminisce in your collection, housing will not grant any substantial gameplay benefits. I'm not sure WoW can survive another Garrison-like feature, an anti-MMO shift to disincentivize players from engaging with the open world and networking with other players. One such feature is too many. I kind of get what they mean with this. Yeah, you want it to just be a fun side hustle sort of thing. Fated patch sucks ass anyway, no real loss there. Yeah, I hated that concept. I hated the fated season concept. Nothing but a stinky time filler. This is why I'm really glad that Mop Remix came out. It means I could completely ignore it last time round. More customizable than I was expecting. Was already apparently expecting more than most cynical players. Looking forward to it. Very impressive. Hey, you don't see many. Take note, boys and girls. What's the date? 13th of March, 2025. Positive Blizzard comments. It does happen. Very doubtful Blizzard could have what it takes to pull it off, but this looks amazing. The fact we can move stuff around is more than expected. Being able to customize it is mind-blowing. I just really hope the decorations aren't restricted to modern doodads. If I want my house to look like straight out of Warcraft 3 Classic, I should be able to. My concern is it going to be overly elf-human themed, and if you want anything like Tauren or Troll, you're just going to be out of luck. Theming is going to be difficult, and this is why, like I said, the best thing they can do, absolute best thing they can do, is create some tools to allow players to create items. Simple. Allow players to make simple meshed up items. This is the concept of the modding scene through God knows how many games out there. Have it so that players can just make their own items. That fixes this entire problem straight away. If Blizzard enforces that they must create every item that goes in a player housing, they're just giving themselves a task that will never be possible. They should obviously, Blizzard devs should be able to make probably the best and probably the most premium items for it, which no doubt they will monetize or, put at the end of the stick for you to chase after in game. But they should also open it up to players to make items. Like, You'll have people making flipping life-size Onyxia skulls or something. People go out and do crazy things. And then if somebody wants to have a troll hideout, then they can just make a few items, I'm not super creative with this sort of stuff. But, a browsable a browsable, I don't want to use the word store because store represents cash monies, but like a browsable catalog of other user created items that you can download and import into your thing would be really cool. They made a point of mentioning that everybody gets a house and that players wouldn't lose them like in Final Fantasy. It was some of the harshest shade I've seen WoW throw at Final Fantasy in a long time, yeah. No taxes, no repossessions. Well, we'll see. We'll have to see. Initially, though, looks positive. Looks positive. Being hired as a decorator for gold might become a thing. Interior design specialist. It's amusing, but there will, without question, I'm telling you now, without question, there will be entire YouTube channels that pop up out of this that will be like MTV Cribs style, you know. Who lives in a house like this? You know, there'll be entire things of people going around to other people's houses looking at what they've done, you know. And if Blizzard leans into it, they'll like do, you know, January's best cribs, or, you know. You don't have to be super crazy to figure out what they could do with this. Loads of possibilities. Looks very cool. Looks very cool. Bachelor pads galore, yeah. Start a YouTube channel with a new walk through my player house each week. Get submissions in. Yeah, it would be a whole thing. It could be a whole thing. It'll be very cool. Very interesting to see. Right, boys and girls, I'm going to leave it there for today, though. I've been playing this game way too much over the last few days. I'm going to take it a little bit more chill today. I'm going to go, considering the sun is out, even though we did have half a foot of snow yesterday, the sun is out. I'm going to absorb some of it for a little while. I've spent far too much time indoors. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be continuing our grind, finishing stuff off. Send me the snow. You can have the snow. You can have all of the snow. You can have all of the snow. Please take it. It's free. It's yours. I'm done with the snow for this year. We'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate you all stopping by. I enjoy the conversations every day. Thank you very much. Yeah, good luck with your goal making. It is still a very, very busy week. If you're crafting and doing auction housey stuff, get on it because it's still you know, peak season. I've not been showcasing much of that from my perspective. I've been, you know, more on the farming sort of side of things this time round. But you know, a change of scenery for me was needed. If you're doing the usual profession auction housey stuff, big business out there, get on it. Good luck and. Let me know your success stories. Let me know your failures. I love to see and read them and talk about them. It's all good fun. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, boys and girls. I'll catch you all next time. Have a good one. Peace.